Kalfas and Tony Disanto. And boy, this should be one of the better matches we have had on the show this season.
Couple of 20-year-olds. Oh, I love this youth. Dave, how about you?
You know what? Smart aleck.
Abuse.
Yeah, it is. It's terrible. But, you know, we brought up the first match. Strength, power, but both of those players are gone.
Now we've got the men who have put 10 in the pit consistently, and well, we've seen Riga do this a number of times where he started off the match leaving the 9 or the 10, and boy, once he picks up this spare, more times than not, of course, it's been Katie bar the door for his opponent.
Well, there you see it. The 10 pin, through no fault of his own, is still standing. He threw a great shot, just like last week, Tommy. That solid 7. I hate to be redundant, but my, what a shot. And he physically could not have thrown that 12th ball any better than what he did.
We said at the outset, folks, if you missed our show last week, as the old saying goes, you missed the boat big time. Because I'm not kidding you, that was just one of the most exciting sporting events that I have ever personally had a chance to see. We're watching Riga go to that last ball, of course, for the attempt at 300.
Right there, you're looking at Tom Schiller. Fine-looking man with the red tie. Good friend of mine.
Tony. Get the scream started. I tell you, a few people asked, you know, last week when they saw me after the show, they asked, when was the last 300? Well, it was bowled in 1975 at Stones Lanes, and it was on Easter Sunday, and was bowled by a man by the name of Bob Dieters. That was the one and only. We're looking for another one. It won't be this week, but I'm not giving up.
No, with these two guys shooting, you can't still rule out that 250 plus. What kind of car did Tom bring out today, Jen?
He brought us a Taurus, one of my favorites. $14,500 car.
It's got the Insta-Clear windshield on it. You know what that is?
Oh,
No,
gotta
It
have
looks
that.
like aluminum foil, you know, and all you do is flip a switch and the ice goes away, right? For
Been
guys
nice
like you, guys like you, Tommy, you ought to
who run
have
late, who consistently run late, and you need that right off.
Tony marking in the second frame. Striking the first, spare up, gives him 20. There you see him. He looks very confident to me.
Very relaxed, and as we've alluded to quite a few times, he's not watching, or at least at that point was not watching, not even interested in what Riga was doing.
Exactly, as Riga sets up to throw his second frame. This will be his first shot on lane 22 of this match.
Looking for the strike.
Perfect. Absolutely perfect.
That's the shot we've seen week after week here.
Let's watch the release it on Riga's shot now. He's going to be coming from about the 9th board where he sets it down, arcing the ball out to about, there you see, about the 9th board. Now it's going to arc out to about 5, right there at its furthest point out, and now it starts its trip back home. 1-2 pocket, look out. You guys are out of here.
Both of these gentlemen are so solid at the line. Really get a lot of power behind it because of that.
What a difference. We saw the slow-mo back when Mike Whalen was releasing and all the loft that he was putting on the ball. These guys get it down on the lane right now.
Yeah, they get it down earlier, get it absolutely perfect. First 3 shots, absolutely perfect, each and every one of them. You know, you wonder, this is Riga's 5th week.
Right.
Okay? Should he win, as we look at the score, should he win, it'll be his 5th kingship. Now, the record belongs to Dave Newkirk with 10 consecutive weeks being our king. This goes back several years. Davey Hines was 2nd with 9 weeks, and then Don Scudder, who we've seen very recently, with 7 weeks. That's how the kings mount up. So we'll chalk them off one by one should Riga start eliminating them.
Now, Dave, don't throw that away. We may need that again.
Well, here, you keep the note right there for next week.
He's got a good memory.
We've got
I was under the impression, or at least somebody told me when I took over the reins here last year with you folks, that Dave Newrath was the gentleman that held that record.
Yeah, I do, as a matter of fact. This is my 5th year with WLW, and it's probably where I'll stay, right back here. 36 in the second for Tony. He comes up with 45 in the third, an open frame. An open frame
Boy,
against Riga
he really
Kalfas.
got a bad break on
What
that
does
spin.
that mean?
Ooh, look out.
Normally.
Ruffle.
Lot
Going
of
to try to get right back at it, and again, now I was going to say he missed it, and you talk about some help. You see him smile, and he says, hey, I'll take it.
You need some help. Let's watch it. Tony's going to look to the powers above for a little help because this ball is awful. It's barely going to touch the head pin, center of your screen, but the head pin's going to go to the left wall. There you see it. Now the 5 pin is toppling. That's the head pin coming back into your pitcher, getting in the way. Looks like the Leaning Tower Pizza, and Tony goes, oh, okay, I'll take it.
No big deal. That's how I planned it.
Sure,
yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Now he's got to make it good with the double. That's what I always say. Get a lucky strike, you got to make it good. Jump on opportunity. Do what Riga does.
Yeah, he's working on a double on his own right now and looking for 3. And there it is. Boy, you just got to be impressed week after week. As David talked about, he has been our king the last 4 weeks. This would be his 5th. And every week, just so impressive.
It is impressive, Tommy, and again, getting back to anybody can bowl. The strong guys can bowl, and they can bowl incredibly well. But these 2 guys weigh less than what our first 2 players could bench press. And they're showing us so much talent.
Oh, good God, I hope so. At 390 and 400, most people.
They show us so much talent that it's hard to believe. Now, there you see Riga's setup. Now watch his lips. He's reciting to himself things that he is working on. I did ask him before the match today, what do you say in Riga? We've got a lot of people back home that really want to know. He says, well, Dave, honestly, it's whatever I'm having a little trouble with or I want to remind myself about at that time. He says it's always different. He's not reciting a celestial sort of call or is saying hi to his mom or going through even a mental checklist, as I alluded to 1 week. It's like that, but it changes, he said.
Well, actually, what he told me, which I think might be the real story, is the National Enquirer headlines refer to the real story.
I can hardly wait for
Jennifer,
Let's hear it.
He's saying, Jennifer Kleekamp, please don't bring up my fiance again.
There we can see the score. If Tony should strike in the 5th and 6th frames, that would get him 75. He's got to do that to cut the lead to 24 pins. He's got a double to cut the lead to 24.
Hey. Tony's saying this just might be my day.
This guy is living right.
The light hit is working for him, Jen. Now watch this. Again, the head pin's the one in the center of your screen. It's going to do the damage even though it's the weakest. There it is, going out of your frame, coming back in, and then climbing up the neck of the 4 pin, knocking the 4 pin into the 8. Dominoes.
And yes, you heard 10 in the pit. We got 5 on the deck. Twice in a row.
Dominoes.
Looking for the triple, and he looked dead on the mark.
Look at it again. Tommy, I have yet to remember a time when I've seen 3 consecutive strikes like this. Now let's look at it here on the replay. The light hit's been going for him. If it ain't broke, don't change it. And he didn't. The head pin again, going to the wall, coming off, kicking the 4 in, taking the 7 out, the 5 pin saying, yeah, okay.
Dave and I are going to recap the 7th and 8th frames for you. Riga came in that 7th frame with a 14-pin advantage and had a big ball in the 7th.
Well, the big ball in the 7th frame was just an absolutely crushing strike. The form that we've come to see week in and week out, Tommy, 10 pins in the pit.
And then Tony had to step back up there. He was coming off a triple, and really a mistake for him in the 7th.
Exactly right. He'd been carrying, having an enormous amount of success with the light swisher, Tommy. 7th frame, he makes a 1-in-1 board adjustment with his feet to fill up the pocket, and as we called it, the crash 10 pin. Came off the string with a great shot, but then recouped, and in the 8th frame, came back with another splash swishing strike.
Okay, now Riga was looking for the double in the 8th. He didn't come up lucky as well.
Well, on neither shot, Tommy, quite frankly, the 8th frame netted him one of his more poor shots of the match, but he brought the spare back, which was important. And then in the 9th frame, came back with the Riga patented clutch shot for a solid 7, and that set up our next shot. Let's watch. No.
Oh. Obviously a bad shot right there by Tony. And David, as you see on the scorecard, he ended up leaving the 9th frame open, cost him the match.
Well, he had to go for a spare to have any realistic chance of winning the match, Tommy. He went for it. He got the 1 pin, and then, of course, Riga went on to do his patented thing. But Tony gave it a valiant effort, striking out in the 10th frame. Riga had to step up, and, well, we know what he did. He left a solid 7, made that particular spare, and he thought he had to make it to win, by the way, but he struck in the fill ball, winning our match, 216, Tony 198, and we'll be back in just a moment.